Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Trailblazer of Light. And today I'd like to talk about certain things that were a part that the part that I played in that relationship with my narcissist. Because if I had healthy boundaries and stuff, I don't think a lot of the stuff that I did allow happen to me wouldn't have happened. Because I would have set the stage with some boundaries. So in that relationship, um, I didn't have a healthy example to follow by growing up. My mom was an enabler, and my dad was an alcoholic and physically abusive. So I really didn't think much about certain aspects of what relationships dynamics were all about until just recently, which is really odd because I mean I'm a pretty smart person, but I guess my empathy and wanting to believe the best in people got the best of me. And so I did grow up as a scapegoat. Um, that means, somebody who takes the blame for other people. And I did that often because of my empathy. I used to remember my dad would come home and be the grenade, and if anything he saw was something that needed to be taken care of, I would usually say it was me because I always felt like I was my dad's favorite, and I always wanted to rescue and jump in and save the family from any harm, which half of the time we all took a beating. So I eventually learned after a while that it didn't do any good to take the blame for anybody because we all got the beating anyway. But yeah, sorry, I got ants and stuff crawling on me. It's a beautiful day outside and I just wanted to be outside. So it has its difficulties, complications with the bugs and flies and ants and stuff. So anyway, I did take a couple of notes, and I'm just going to say a couple of these things because they are how I want to take responsibility for my relationship with my narcissist, because I I want to own up to my part in that. So as I said, I didn't have healthy boundaries. I also grew up as a scapegoat in the martyrdom, so uh, I knew like some of the behaviors that he was doing was bad, but I overlooked it half of the time. Most of the time I overlooked it until the end, of course, and I stopped overlooking it and I started holding him accountable. But it was in that relationship where, I saw the red flags, the lying, the sneaking. I wasn't sure about the cheating, but I know that when somebody's not fooling around with you, they're fooling around with somebody else. I'm pretty smart there in that aspect, and I just dismissed a lot of stuff, and then I did have abandonment issues growing up. Also, my mom and dad, after my dad shot a man, we ran from state to state to state, and my parents would drop us kids off at our uncles and aunts and stuff, and go and try to do whatever they were doing on their part of the bridge, and us kids usually got stuck without having a parent, and adapting and adjusting to new schools and our relatives, and new rules and guidelines and new boundaries, and uh, I was so young. I was only 6 at this time, so I had developed some unhealthy behaviors and coping skills at this time that I didn't know what I was doing, and I just thought that that was the way that it was. I grew up that way, and so I had abandonment issues, And then with that coping mechanism to overlay that abandonment issue or that fear of rejection, I would overlook a lot of stuff and become that scapegoat and that martyrdom and play those roles. And then I became an enabler just like my mother, and uh, enabled certain behaviors that weren't healthy, even though I knew it was toxic and dysfunctional. As an adult, I still overlooked it because I just thought that's how we were, and I didn't realize that I had choices and options of how I wanted to be treated, or that I could say no, and that I didn't have to be the yes, 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 or the you, and take the blame of everything and continuously apologize for everything until, you know, just recently when I went through the dark night of the soul and I had a relationship with Father God, and I was in that journey where I got deep and I went into the dark night of the soul and I met the shadow self, and I just was watching videos all the time, and I realized that I have a say in how I'm being treated. I don't have to be physically abused or emotionally abused or mentally challenged and all these other things that people put on me and projected onto me. That was their stuff. It wasn't mine. And I didn't have to own that stuff, and I didn't have to carry it. And I don't do that anymore. I've put my foot down. I've set some boundaries, and I'm mad about it because I spent a lot of my life wasting time and energy with energy suckers and people who just took, and they continued to take, and I allowed it. And yes, I allowed it. I take full responsibility for my actions in every single relationship I've ever had because I didn't have those boundaries. And so moving forward, I am learning to say no, because I was that people pleaser for so long that, the yes, 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 yeah, no problem, I can get that, I can do that for you. And I'm learning to say no, and I don't have to tell people why I'm saying no. I don't have to sit there and say, no, I'm this or I'm that, or I don't have to say nothing. It's, no, I'm all set, thanks though, I appreciate it. You know, respectfully saying, and because they are learning. These are people in my life that I care about, and I want them to treat me the way that I want to be treated. I'm teaching them how to treat me, and that's with respect today, because I respect myself and I value myself and I care and love about myself today. That I want other people to treat me with the same regard. How I'm going to treat you is how I want to be treated back. It's that simple. And I had no idea. I was so naive and ignorant in so many areas of my life. Uh, I guess you could say I was pretty special. I'm one of Jerry's kids. And, you just don't know until you know. And when you finally know and you finally get it, there ain't no messing around with somebody who has that kind of power, that knows. I see shit coming a mile away, and I've said that in my other videos. I see it coming a mile away. The first few words out of your mouth, I know exactly what kind of person you are, what your intentions are, and I'll call you on it today. I will call you on it today, or I'll hold it aside. I'll be silent about it, but there comes my no. Because I have energy for myself today, and I took my power back after that narcissist, and it's the best freeing feeling I've ever experienced in my entire life. And I'm never going to give my peace away again. And my relationship with Father God is the best relationship I've ever had with him, and I'm super cautious now. And my intuition and my discernment are on spot on. Like, I just I'm so grateful today. Like, these are just tools, and I wish I had watched the videos so much sooner on YouTube, and to get that better understanding and learn some coping skills. Of course, I did learn a lot of that too with AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, because there were spiritual tools that I picked up in that program that I took into my relationships, but I just never thought that my childhood sweetheart was out to get me and wanted me dead. I had no clue. I loved him. I was so devotedly into him. I had no clue that he was working behind the scenes to tear me down because he was jealous of my gift with God and my spirituality, and which is really just kind of disgusting because, you know, when somebody's got a relationship with God and things are going good in their life, why would you want to tear them down? Why wouldn't you want to celebrate with them and their successes and join in on that aspect and enjoy the fruits of the labor? Because I would have taught you anything. I would have freely given away what's been freely given to me in a heartbeat. And so I had really no clue that there were really that mean of people out there. I've read stories and I've watched TV and news and stuff, but that would never happen to me. And then it did, and it's actually kind of scary to think about it because I used to say, why me? And now it's why not me? Because I'm just as susceptible to negative energy and negative things out there, just like everybody else is. Just there's that mindfulness and that awareness today that with those spiritual tools, that having that awareness and that mindfulness, like, you're less likely to have bad things happen because you're mindful and you're aware of your surroundings. And so it's a very huge factor that these things I didn't develop or learn growing up or along the way. I didn't pick up these tools. I lived alone for 17 years before I met before I went and lived with my childhood sweetheart. After my accident, I was alone for 17 years. I didn't live with anybody. I didn't have anybody move in with me. I was on housing. I was good. and and then when he came around into my life, I wanted to move in with him so bad, and I just wanted to be with him all the time, and I just wanted to just feel that love and that nurturing and feel that growth and develop on those concepts. And I didn't build on a solid foundation. And so I am my own solid foundation with God as my rock today. And I'm looking forward to eventually meeting my partner wherever he is, and I hope that I can manifest him and draw him in with my energy and the positive aspect of all of the spiritual journey that I'm on. I hope to eventually draw him in. But until then, I am becoming the best version of myself possible for both of us, for the future of my grandkids and my daughter, and just for the community and for everybody as a whole. I'm just trying to become the best person possible. I hit on all the notes that I wanted to talk about today, and so if there's anything in this video that you liked, please comment or share, and please like my video. It helps the algorithm and get the message of hope out there to people who might need it. And some of the things that I say, like, might be a light bulb moment for somebody. And if there's a light bulb moment for anybody that's watching this, please like the video. It does help the algorithm and get out there, and it helps me out too with my channel. So on that note, I'm sorry about the noise in the background. I am in the country, and Gosh, I love it here. It's so peaceful. So anyway, if you can, please like, comment, and share, and subscribe, and go forth and sprout. Peace, love, and light.